Today is Saturday, November 5th, 2020. No, it's not November. I just lost a month. Let's try this again. Ay, ay, ay. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 43 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all kinds of other crafty shenanigans. Today is Saturday, December 5th, 2020, and we've got a dark, dreary, overcast day. We had quite a bit of rain yesterday. It looks like we might be in for more rain this evening and tonight. Oh well, we're stuck indoors, so I don't much care what it's doing outside anymore. So if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for joining me, and thanks for checking me out. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back to watch another episode. Today we're going to look at one of my works in progress, and we're going to look at a new thing that I cast on in the past few days. So with that, let's take a look at my work in progress. So my work in progress is my Slipstravaganza shawl by Stephen West. This has been a project I've been working on since the 9th of October, so nearly 2 months now. I'm still working on the final clue. There's a bunch of people that are long finished this shawl. It was a mystery knit along. I am still plugging along. And I'm slowly making progress, and I'm still holding on to the hope that I will have this finished by the end of 2020. We'll see. We shall see. So that's the wrong side. So I haven't managed to do a lot this week. But here's taking a look. The 2 rows of the off-white, the pineapple, that's new, and 3 rows of the light pink is new since last week. So I've added a total of 5 rows, but the rows, this last row I did had 930 stitches. So each and every row takes forever for me to knit. And I've opted for doing the larger shawl. So what I have left to do on this, and it's highly unlikely I'll have it done for next week. I'm hoping before the year is over I will be finished, but we shall see. So I need to do 3 more rows of the light pink, then 2 rows of the off-white, then 6 rows of the medium pink, 2 rows of off-white, then 6 rows of the dark pink, 1 row of the off-white, and then an I-cord bind off, and it's done. So by the time I get to that last row of the off-white, I'll be at 950 stitches. Then I get to bind off. Using an I-cord bind off, I get to bind off 950 stitches. What did I get myself into? But it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. So it's a pattern by Stephen West. It was the 2020 autumn mystery shawl knit along that ran through most of October. I used for this one, I used Holst super soft yarn in 4 colors. Pineapple is the off-white that I'm using, and then I'm using Sugar Snap, Geranium, and Carmine for my light, medium, and dark pinks. So you need 3 contrasting and 1 main color. I'm using 3.25 millimeter needles, or US 3, and like I said, I cast this on back in the beginning of November or October. So I think it was the 9th of October is when I cast it on, and I'm still working on it. Like I say, this week I've managed to add 5 more rows. So I'm hoping it's done sometime soon, but we'll see. It'll be done when it's done. But I am hoping to have it done while it's still cooler out and I want to wear it. So that's my work in progress. And I have one new cast on. Actually, I did not touch my scrap wrap this past week because I started anew. I cast on something new. And this is something I was planning on casting on for quite some time. And it's through one of the Ravelry groups I spend a lot of time with, and that is the Sock Madness group. And each year, the person who organizes the Sock Madness competition on Ravelry she writes and publishes an Advent scarf for all of us that are interested. And what she'll do is she will send out or release one new clue a day starting the 1st of December and all the way through until Christmas Eve. So I've done these scarves. I went through a tour of all my previous Advent scarves. I've done them for quite a few years running now, and this is just the newest one on the list. And this one, I guess you call it a theme, for this scarf is modular and mitered squares. So I'm already behind. No one should be surprised here. I pretty much, if I'm staying completely on top of a knitting pattern that comes out in a variety of clues over a period of time, I'm almost always going to fall behind. It's just life and work just get in the way. It is what it is. I know it's going to happen. I accept that it's going to happen, and I happily knit along. I forgot to tell you, I'm drinking plain old ordinary, just plain orange pekoe tea. Just plain old black orange pekoe tea. So the scarf this year, I've started on it. And here's where I am so far. I've got 1 billion T ends left to tuck in. I've tucked in a few already, but there's a boatload more. This scarf is going to end up having, I think, 50 billion ends to tuck in by the time it's done. It's a good thing I don't mind tucking in tails. But anyway, this red square is, let me tell you a bit. So first of all, this is a pattern by Trisha Weatherston, and it's the Advent 2020 scarf. I'll put the link down below for the pattern. It is, this year, the pattern called for 3.25 millimeter needles or US 3, and it called for fingering weight scraps. So I opted for, you like my fancy project bag. Anyway, what I decided to do for this one is I'm using all of my scraps of my own fingering weight hand-dyed yarn. And by doing it this way, I know that they're all the same base. And I know that I'm not going to have differences in gauge, and I'm not going to have any problems with squares coming out larger or smaller than I expect them to using the needle size that I'm using. So I'm going to use just all of these different colors. The whole idea of this scarf is just to use up your scraps and to have it be just like really loud and bright. And so far mine's already pretty bright. So that's the yarn I'm going to be using for this. It's it calls for, I think, about 200 grams, and I think I have almost 400 grams in that bag, so I'm going to have plenty of yarn. And she sent us out, or released the first square a little bit early. It came out sometime in November. I don't remember when. I actually cast that on the 30th of November, so on Monday, the 30th of November. And that was this square that I have done in this pinkish red. And that was basically designed to be a gauge swatch. So this measures about a 4-inch square. The scarf will be about 8.5 to 9 inches wide once it's done. Does it go this way? Yeah, I think this is the direction it goes. I'm gonna have to double check the pattern. I can't remember which direction. I think this is the direction it's going. So this is the as wide as it's going to be. So it'll be a little bit narrower scarf unless we're getting a border, which I don't know if we are. So the pinky red square was a gauge swatch, and if we were happy with it, we were welcome to keep that as our first square. Then our second clue, or December 1st, was this portion here, the blue and purple, not these two squares, but this part and these 3 little teeny ones at the bottom. So that was clue number 1, or December 1st. Then this part here, which will go up to here, is December 2nd. So I'm still on the clue for December 2nd, and it's December 5th. I'm getting behind her every day. But December 2nd, the clue is these 4 squares, plus this part here is going to mirror this part here. So I've done the first 2 purple squares, and then I'm going to have 2 purple and blue squares here. And then to finish off the 2nd of December, you repeat these three little squares. So these 3 will go across here. And I'm going to repeat the same colors. I'm going to do the black, or the charcoal, the medium gray, and the light gray are going to go across here the same. So it's just going to be these 3 repeating across. So I've printed out the clues for the rest of the squares, or the rest of the clues for the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. And I'm hoping to catch up this weekend. I don't know if I will. We've got plans for later this afternoon. Sunday we have church, but I should have most of the afternoon and evening on Sunday to work on it. But then I'll still be finishing the 2nd, and it's only going to be, by then it'll already be the 6th, so I'll be 4 days behind by then. I always fall behind. I seriously always fall behind. So anyway, that's my Advent scarf for 2020. It's coming along nicely. I'm going to, once I'm getting the editing done on here and the video starts uploading, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to start tucking in a few more of the tails. And I will be keeping up with that probably every day or second day. I'm going to backtrack and tuck in the tails, because there's no way I'm going to get to the end of the scarf and have 50 billion ends to tuck in. It'll never happen. So I am going to keep up with that throughout the next 20 days or however many more days that the clues will be getting. So stay tuned for next week, and we'll see. Hopefully I'm a little bit closer to being caught up and I've got a lot more to show you. We'll see. So that's it. It's a little bit shorter episode this week. I just have the 2 things. That's only the 2 things I've been working on. So my scrap wrap I haven't touched, and I suspect I probably won't do much on that in the next little while. My slipstravaganza shawl has had 5 rows added. I still have quite a few rows left to go to finish that off. And I've started my Advent 2020 scarf. So I've worked most of the time this past week on my Advent scarf and on slipstravaganza. So they have seen some work, but there's still a fair bit to go on them. Work has been busy this past week. We went back to work after having our Thanksgiving break, and so we're back in classes. We have 1 more week of classes to go. This week coming up is the final week of classes for the entire semester. Then the week after that, we have final exams, and then we have to get all the grades tallied up, submitted, all of that stuff. And then we're on Christmas break. And I'm ready for Christmas break. I just got off Thanksgiving break, and I'm already ready for the Christmas break. It's been a long semester. Everything going on in the world. Our normal teaching routines they're upside down. And I think the students are struggling with what's going on with the way classes are being taught and everything that's going on. Students are stressed, faculty are stressed, staff are stressed. We're just all facing a lot of stress right now with everything going on. So I think all of us are going to be really ready for a nice long break over the Christmas holiday. We don't go back to school until I think the 19th of January. I think my kids write their final exam on the 16th of December. Yeah, I think it's the 16th of December. They write their my last ones write their final exam on the 16th. So as soon as I've got their grades turned in, I'm done for the semester. Then classes start up on the 19th. The week before, we have several different kinds of meetings and all kinds of things like that to kind of get us ramping up for the spring semester. But I'm going to have several weeks off where I'm just going to relax, do some knitting, just spend some time visiting with the hubby, just relaxing at home. We're not going to be doing any traveling for Christmas. We're staying home or staying here, so we won't get to see any family. Pretty much all of our family are international and in Canada, so it's not an option to go home for Christmas. It's just not an option. So I'm kind of disappointed about that. I kind of wanted to go spend some time with my mom, my sister, my niece, their families. It's not going to happen this year. So the hubby and I are just going to lay low, spend a quiet Christmas, just the two of us. So we're looking for a few ideas of things we want to get for ourselves for Christmas. We splurged a couple days ago. We splurged and we got a subscription to Disney Plus, a monthly subscription. So we get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. The hubby wanted the sports stuff. So we bought ourselves, that's one of our Christmas presents to ourselves that we got this year, a little early. So we will be spending a fair bit of time watching, just sitting back and relaxing at home and just watching some TV, watching some shows that we haven't been able to see until now. We started watching, a couple days ago, we started watching The Mandalorian. Love it. We are loving it. We've only seen 2 or 3 episodes now. So 3 episodes we've seen? Yeah, I think we've watched 3 episodes for season 1. And we're trying to pace ourselves so we don't run right through every episode that's available to watch too quickly. But that's one of the things we have going. And we recently, a week and a half ago, we bought ourselves a treadmill. We've got it up into our apartment and it's all set up. So we've both been spending some time on there every day for the last week weekend a little bit. So we're starting to both of us build up our endurance on there and build up our time and our speed that we're on the treadmill. So that's something that we're doing quite a bit of now, is just trying to get a little healthier and get a little bit into a little better shape, because we've both kind of really started slacking on our physical fitness and exercise and diet. It's kind of slid downhill, and so we're revamping that. We're going to get a head start on a New Year's resolution and get started with that early. We tried a couple days ago. We tried it last night. A couple days ago, we bought those hot cocoa bombs. Oh my gosh. We drank a couple of them last night. Oh, they were so good. Oh, it was so good. It was so rich. I was just shaking. I was literally like vibrating from the sugar for quite a while afterwards, and then kind of crashed a little while later. It was so good. I want more. I want to get another one because they were so good. So that was fun. I think we might get ourselves a couple more and have those for a treat a little closer to Christmas. Can't have them too often because they're just way too rich and sugary and good. So that's been the excitement for us lately. And I'd mentioned last week I broke one of my teeth. I am not able to get in to see my dentist until Thursday this week coming up. So I've still got that rough edge back there. Actually, the tooth is broken down a little bit more in that time, just from regular talking and just daily life with it. I try my hardest to only chew on this side so that I'm not putting anything on here. So we'll find out on Thursday what the dentist can do with that. I'm hoping he's able to rebuild it and fill it and fix it that way. We'll find out on Thursday morning what he's able to do with it. So that's my excitement coming up this week. But otherwise, I think that's about all. That's enough kind of nattering about random stuff with you guys. I should get going, get this editing, and see if I can finish December 2nd's clue on the Advent scarf today. Maybe try to get a start on clue number 3 or day number 3. Get started on that today as well. Alrighty, thanks for watching everyone. Take care, and I will see you guys again in a week. Bye now.